Dr. Bobbitt here again, just giving you some updates on the upcoming Phase 1 Conceptology course coming up December 5th, 6th, and 7th. I want to share with you a little bit of data from our current coursework in Phase 1. This is the 2022 edition. And Dr. Fleet starts off on the second lesson on suggestion. And do realize that in 1946, when Dr. Fleet created this was the original course in suggestion. And here's what he says. He says the subconscious mind is influenced by suggestion. We know that. Suggestion, as it's generally understood, is the art and science of conveying what we'd say a verbal or mental image into a person's mind, either consciously or unconsciously. He says, generally speaking, anything that we usually sense, like our sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, we generally consider that suggestion. But in the psychological phase, suggestion means much more than that. Dr. Fleet says it denotes a clear, definite perception, thought, or mental image of sufficient force that it makes a mental impression on the subconscious mind. He says, in other words, mental perceptions, thoughts, and desires become suggestions in the technical sense only when it lodges in the subconscious mind. Now, how do pictures, thoughts, ideas get fixed or lodged or impressed in the subconscious mind? Well, it happens through feeling, through associations. As we associate and feel and add meaning to these ideas, the subconscious will lodge that, and that now becomes a suggestion. He says, and if a suggestion is given to another individual in the proper manner, the person receiving that will act upon the suggestion just as though that person were acting on their own free will. And that is exactly what happens when the composite personality is created between two people. Of course, one person becomes the originative factor of the personality. And when that happens, that creates an idea, that originative factor creates an idea that's suggested over to the second party, who in turn becomes the executive factor, right? And then that idea is immediately accepted and it becomes lodged in the subconscious, and the power resident therein begins to express or manifest that idea in the body. That's what we're doing in Phase 1. We're learning how to contact and direct this power, this universe intelligence, this innate, this nature, this spirit. We're learning how to contact and direct God as it applies to our own personal body. And if others will allow us to originate for them, we get to be that command to them. And the executive power within their mechanism can help them improve as well, especially in their health. He goes on to say all doctors should understand the power of suggestion and the part it plays in the composite personality. For a knowledge of the laws involved will enable the doctor to guide and direct the spiritual power in the healing process. And then he adds this extra little piece. Dr. Fleet says, all parents should also know this great secret so they can shape the character and the personality of their children. In fact, all people should understand the laws of suggestion. There's a lot to understanding suggestion and how to contact and direct this great power. We're going to be spending the entire course on this idea of forming this composite personality, and how do we act as the originator? How do we act as the executive? And how do we know how to give and receive a constructive, positive, lawful, broad concept? And then we're going to practice it. Until you practice it, you don't get to appreciate this feeling you get when you get to be the originator of this power, and then when you also let yourself open to this power. So we'll see you there December 5th, 6th, 7th at the Concept Therapy Institute, live or online, however you'd like. We'll see you there to help you as you establish better health, better success, better peace in your life. Enjoy.